Hey everyone, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. I did promise y'all a video of a house update, and that's the reason why I didn't have a Wednesday video this week, so I'm going to give this to y'all in return. Last year I gave y'all a house update as well. This was for a couple of bedrooms and a bathroom renovation that we were doing. What we just did was the last leg of the renovation of this house, so we're still got a couple little touch-up things to do, little minor stuff, but for all intents and purposes, we are done. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you the kind of a little bit of the process, and then we'll go over into the kitchen and the den area, and I'll show you the completed product, which actually looks pretty nice. So I'm going to turn you all around right here, and we're just going to do this old school way. I'll show you all the kitchen and the den, some photos here originally, and I'll show you the hallway as well. We'll take a look in the hallway before we go into the kitchen. But at first, when I first moved into this house, I'm about 3.5 years in to this house. We've been doing stuff kind of one or two rooms every year. But this is the den originally. I know there's a little bit of a reflection, but you can see we still have carpet here, and this is all wood panels around the room, because this house was built in around 1959. This is the other side, and there's this wall right here though with the little doorway between the kitchen and the den. As you can see, there's carpet in the den. And then there's the kitchen. That's the best picture I have of the kitchen. You see we've just got a blank wall over here. We had the water-fed baseboard heat, which we took out the first couple weeks we were here. And then, of course, just your appliances. The orientation of this kitchen was not very good. These cabinets were kind of a hack job, so that they could install that over the range microwave. And some of this dental molding actually was just PVC molding, not even original to the house, so it's not really that big of a deal that we did not save it. So again, you have all this was dead space back here to the side of the stove, because the stove butted right up against the countertop. We had an extra wide sink, so this is all the counter space that we had in the kitchen. So I'll show you a little bit of the process of us taking it out. Well, originally, the first week I was here, I took out the carpet in the den, and we ended up having hardwoods under it. I did not keep those hardwoods just because I pretty much merged the two rooms together, and there was no way to really blend in the kitchen and the den very well. And so that's another look at the hardwoods. I did save the hardwoods in the rest of the house. As you can see, this is in the living room area. We still got a little bit of cleanup to do, but I kept them in the living room, the hall, the bedrooms, and the dining room. And so we have plenty of hardwoods in the house. It wasn't too bad about missing that. But now we're in the process of, we started this Labor Day weekend of 2021. This is what is today? I'm filming March 19th. So this is when we started. This is the wall we ended up taking out. It was not load bearing. I had plaster all around the walls except for these wood panels here, which we took out. Those came out fairly quickly, which was nice. And all in all, I'll show you a picture a little bit further down here. Here's some of the electrical mess that I found in the kitchen, with just open junction boxes behind the wall, going to wire that was no longer, I don't think it was active, but I mean, you can see this just nest of mess here in the wall when it comes to the electrical. This was behind a wall, not even, didn't even have like a blank plate or a provision in the wall for it. It was kind of bad. Let me see if I can find, this is when we had absolutely everything out of it. I see that there's a terrible reflection, but everything out of it down to the studs, and that's where we started. We took out the plaster and everything in it. And there's another couple of other views. We had the chimney. This was the back side of the chimney that it was framed around. We were entertaining keeping that brick, but we decided not to. We just covered it up with a little bit of a tile wall. Now we're looking on the other side, and you can see the transition. This was just unfinished like pine board that they had linoleum and stuff on top of, so it wasn't really anything that we could save. But we did keep the hardwood floors and then just put some plywood there to keep, or to level the floors so that we could put floor on top of it. And there's the other side. I'll show you one other electrical thing that I found. That's just some more stuff. Alright, so this is another electrical thing that I found. We were trying to figure out why we were having issues with like mice and roaches and stuff getting in the house. And this is probably why, because they added some grounded outlets in the kitchen at some sort of renovation, if you want to call it that. They, instead of them fishing it up through the wall, they ended up cutting the baseboard. This was behind a movable cabinet, the one between the kitchen and the stove. Took this line, punched a hole in the wall, ran it up the wall, punched a hole out of the wall, and had the electrical outlet for that. So I had an electrical mess. Also, if you noticed in the original photos, I didn't have any sort of lights in the ceiling at all. The only overhead light I had was the ceiling fan in the kitchen. So I don't know how far we can get down here, but this is more the process of me installing the lights and things like that. Let's see what we've got here. That's some more of electrical wire that I found under the house. So that was part of a junction box right there, if y'all can see it pretty well. So this wire was in a junction box, and then outside the junction box, instead of just replacing that new wire, they took the old wire with the new wire. They took the old wire and wire nutted it together under the house. This was not in a junction box, so it's just sitting there out in the open under the house. And so when I was doing the electrical, I had to fix all that. I ran like 200 plus feet of electrical wire for the whole project here. And there's some of the lights you can see after we put the ceiling and stuff in. Putting insulation and whatnot in, we ended up replacing these windows as well. And back in November, you can see us putting the drywall up and stuff like that, and it's starting to come together. Again, we just did this on our own accord. I did have drywall refinished. I paid for that. The three things I paid for were somebody to come and finish the drywall, cabinets, and countertops. Pretty much everything else, installing the gas line as well. Pretty much everything else we did ourselves between my wife, myself, and my dad. So that was really, really nice. Again, you can see it starting to come together. These are all the pictures I'm going to show you all before we go in there. We're going to look at the hall real quick as well. We'll pass in through there before we go. And you can see at the beginning of this, we have the carpet in the hallway as well as the this is the foyer that you're looking at right here. So this is the angle that you're looking at. You can see where we had carpet throughout the entire thing. I don't know how they lived with how nasty that carpet was. But in the process of refinishing the hardwoods and stuff in here, that happened last year before we painted and whatnot. So let's take a look. We're going to get up, we're going to take a peek at the hall, and then we're going to take a peek at the den and the kitchen. I hope y'all enjoy this. This is a reason why that I've been struggling to get videos out, and hopefully I can dedicate more to the channel here before long. So this is going to be kind of nice. So here's the hall. I'll see what I can show you all with renovation wise what we did. So again, we refinished the hardwoods, or got the hardwoods refinished. We did not refinish these. We ended up refinishing these. You can kind of see a little bit of a difference between the gloss and the kind of the dull look. I just ended up deciding to live with that. But again, just replacing painting, new grate, fixing the plaster, painting up the attic stairs. This switch right here used to control not only the attic lights, but a motion light outside. I ended up separating those switches so that I could control each of them individually. Again, the sliding door y'all saw for the pocket door was part of the kitchen renovate, or part of the bathroom renovation. So this ended up being drywall here because we had to take some of it out to install the pocket door. So we had drywall all right through here, and then it merges over to the plaster here at some point near the edge, and then all the rest of it is still the original plaster in the rooms. And then in the closet, we have a couple of cats. We still have to do a little bit of work here in the clean it up and whatnot, but it's a lot better. So a good idea if you do have cats and you want to put their automatic litter box in the closet is you can just plug it in. I put an outlet in here and routed it up from under the house, and we just plugged it in, and that's the best thing that we could have done when it comes to the litter box situation here at the house, because I don't have like a mud room or anything like that. So we just popped it in the closet. It works beautifully, and I ended up the other closet's a mirror image to this, but you can see we like our board games and whatnot. We ended up putting new shelves and stuff in the closet too, because they just had those tongue and groove hardwoods that they repurposed to put as the shelves. I kept the sides of the shelves where they mounted, and obviously we repainted and everything. So here's the big thing that we ended up doing is the kitchen and the den. Remember what those pictures look like with it all being down on the studs? Well, it's no longer the case, which is really nice. Again, this was about a 6-month process. We'll take you through a little quick tour here of it while I am here. We painted it the same as the hallway just to have a little bit of continuity. Again, we do have a cool color scheme throughout the rest of the house. So just kind of, we're going for cool and relaxed yet relatively modern here for this house. So like I said, I ran about 200 plus feet of electrical wire to add all of these lights that you see in the ceiling, as well as all of the switches and all of the outlets that I had to update and fix from some of the hack job wiring that was done before we started the renovation. So again, we've got them all on different switches. I added this light right here. It's on an individual switch by itself. All of this is new drywall. None of the old plaster got saved. Like y'all saw, it went down to the studs. So we added a fan light right there, a couple of 3-way switches so that I can control it from over there as we walk in the door from the kitchen, and then recessed lighting here in the den, separately controlled from the recessed lighting in the kitchen. We ended up, we were going to put like some sort of stone accent on this chimney right here, and we ended up going with this marble tile look, and our counter folks suggested that we use, we were going to use white grout. We ended up using a gray grout, and we ended up choosing very well because it almost merges perfectly with the color that we chose for the wall. My dad did carpentry for a long time, and one of his main things that he did was interior trim work. So he came and worked some magic on some crown molding and baseboard for us for the continuity throughout the rest of the house. It just makes your house look that much better, in my opinion. Just having the crown molding around, and then we just continued it through the tile chimney area here. This is just plywood behind it, and we just stuck it to the plywood. We ended up having to use Loctite instead of tile mortar because I think I put the wood on the wrong way and it would not stick. I was having tiles fall off. These have been on here for almost over 2 months now, and they haven't budged. The grout will just make it stay even more, so I'm not really concerned about that anymore. But Loctite, whew, came in handy. These windows were already here. This trim was dark wood, and we just primered it and painted it. So that is the original trim that was in this room. We just painted it, as well as all the door trim. The only door trim that was not the same or that had been updated was this door. We still had to paint this door and door frame and a couple, like I said, we have a couple of other small things, very small things to do, but for all intents and purposes it is done. We added a TV over here. There was an access panel to the bathroom on the other side for the tub and whatnot. We just ended up covering that up with drywall. We know where it is. If we need to get to it, we can just cut that drywall out. So like I said, not a big deal. I added a couple of outlets along this wall here because there was only one outlet that was on this circuit actually to the electrical. It was just literally that one outlet right there. So I just daisy chained it and made 3 outlets, and that's the only outlets on the circuit. I tried to do my best to split the circuits up on the electrical box so that all of these are kind of evenly distributed amongst like 3 or 4 different circuits, so that you only lose like 1 outlet at a time, and so that if we're running a bunch of appliances or whatnot, we are not overloading one circuit. So that's kind of the deal. Again, here's the cabinets. We ended up where I am basically standing, where you can see this light switch here, is about where the wall was. So remember, there was a wall and a doorway right here. We ended up, like I said, blowing the wall out. We ended up drywalling everything, so it makes it look like one complete room here. We added the big thing that we were trying to do was add space, cabinet space and counter space. And if you remember, I do have 1 outlet plate that I got to put on over there, but we were 1 short. I just got to do that. Like I said, a couple little small things. But remember, this wall right here was nothing. I guess it was a place where you could put an eating kitchen, just put a table and whatnot. But remember, all the cabinet space is only right over here. So what we did is we added a pantry, floor to ceiling. It is counter depth, so it has a ton of room. And it is amazing for storage for food. It works perfectly. You don't have to have a separate dedicated room as a pantry. It fits right in with the kitchen. It works out great. And we decided to put, these are custom cabinets, so we ended up spending the money on that, and I have no regrets on that either. Floored all the way up to the ceiling, so you get maximum space. Again, this is a ranch house, so it's only 8-foot ceilings. Ended up putting, I don't know if y'all can see it very well with the lights on, but you see that little blue halo accent you can see right there in the kitchen, in those frosted glass panes. So we ended up getting frosted panes on this wall just to differentiate it from the rest of the cabinets and just to make it a little bit more open and airy. We ended up making this whole bar area right here to put into the to incorporate into the kitchen, so that we have a lot of seating area with bar stools right here. We have the trash area right here. It just pulls out and you put your trash in. Again, we're trying to add maximum seating space, maximum counter space, and maximum storage space, and I think we did all right with it. And we have this eat-in table that my wife ended up refinishing last year. It was an old firehouse table, and she ended up stripping it down and staining it and painting it, and it looks absolutely beautiful and works perfectly in this room, and I think. And we've got the tile here. I don't know if you can see it very well because of the under cabinet lights, and I will tell you guys, one of the best things you can add to a kitchen is under cabinet lights. They look, I'll show you the difference. So you got it lights on, lights off, and it's just so much brighter. A lot of times at night, a lot of times we don't even turn these overheads on, which is just 3 recessed lights. But you can see we continue the same marble tile from that chimney, backside of the chimney, over into the kitchen. Added some GFCIs in there, added a couple of USB outlets just to make the circuits a little bit safer, since this house currently doesn't have grounded circuits except in a couple of outlets. I think that one's one. So we ended up going with the Farmhouse Sink. This is Luna Pearl counters. And one other big thing to add cabinet space is we ended up moving the stove over about, what is that, about 8 to 10 inches or so. And my cabinet guy ended up allowing to put a Lazy Susan in here so that we can store our pots and pans. So that's all that right there was dead space. Now it ends up being a nice deep storage area that we can use, which ends up working well. Obviously, we have not replaced the refrigerator, but we already had the dishwasher when I first moved in for the purpose of eventually putting it in the new kitchen, and we ended up getting a new stove and microwave, which really wasn't that much for what we did. Another big thing is we converted over to gas for a gas stove, and that's one of the best things that we could have done when it comes to converting. I think my wife loves cooking on this stove. Gas is just the way to go if you've got that available. So we had to get the gas line installed. I had to convert it from 220 to 110, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. Did I add any outlet? I didn't add any outlets along this wall because we already had enough. There's three over here, and then there's a fourth one for the fridge. But I did add a couple of extra on here. I did add one in the cabinet for the microwave, and I did add one in the cabinet for that LED strip light that I put on top there. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the kitchen. From what I can tell, we did add the new windows in, and all the lights, crown molding. I think I got everything covered. So that is pretty much why I have kind of been a little bit MIA over the past few months. But this is the last of the renovations on the house. So the plans are, I'm back in the garage, probably playing catch up for a little while. And we'll see what I can do. But the good thing is, and what I'm really looking forward to this fall, is that I don't have to pause a lot of my lawn equipment stuff, and I can work through the fall and the winter to be ready for spring. And I really hope that I can have like 15 to 20 riders and about twice that many push mowers ready to rock and roll for this time next year. That way all I got to do is list them, sell them, take trades, and then do whatever repairs are going to come in. So it's a 3.5-year process. I know a lot of us here that y'all that watch me also do a little bit of home DIY stuff. Maybe y'all can take some pointers from this, but I just wanted to show and share with y'all what I've been working on in the past 6 months that you don't really see on the channel. So in addition to working out in the garage, I've been working in here, and a lot of my time has been taken up working in here. And I just realized I didn't mention the floor that we use. We use the Lifeproof Flooring from Home Depot. This is a dark gray. We were thinking about doing the light gray, but we ended up deciding that was probably going to look dated in a few years. So we went with the dark gray and just laid it on top of the existing hardwoods, and then we leveled the floor with plywood right here so that it was continuous throughout. So I think that is everything, guys. But thank you all again for watching. Thanks for the support. I will be getting my videos back up here fairly soon. I will be doing my best to get 2 a week like I have been. It may be about a month before I can get all that ramped back up, depending on the projects that I have. So thank you again for watching, and I will catch y'all on the next mower repair. And I'm kind of excited not to have to do many house repairs anymore. And I hope we're going to enjoy this for a long time. So thanks again, and I'll see you on the next video.